Welcome to Nighttime Narratives, where we help you sleep tight with summaries. Dive into the world's best-selling books with our AI-generated podcast summaries, designed to inspire and relax you before bed. Whether you're seeking a nightly escape or a quick overview of your next read, you're in the right place. So, snuggle in and let's explore the stories that shape our world, one summary at a time.
Welcome back, everyone. For today's deep dive, we're going to be breaking down one of my all-time favorite books on self-improvement, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm so pumped to dig into this one.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's packed with actionable insights, and I think it'll really resonate with you and where you're at right now.
For sure. I mean, I feel like I've been putting in the work, but lately it's like I've hit this plateau. I'm ready to shake things up and see some serious growth. One thing that really jumped out at me in the book was Clear's concept of the plateau of latent potential. It's like, even when we don't see immediate progress, those small, consistent efforts are still adding up behind the scenes, right?
Exactly. Think of it like an ice cube. You can apply heat for a while and it seems like nothing's happening, but then, bam, you hit that critical point and suddenly it melts. It's the same with our habit.
It's like magic, but it's really just the power of consistency. It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah.
So much of what we talk about in self-improvement is about mindset. And Clear really emphasizes aligning our habits with our identity. What's your take on that?
It's huge. It's not just about wanting to be a writer. It's about becoming a writer. It's about the actions we take every single day.
Oh, I like that. So it's like, if I want to be a morning person, actually getting out of bed when the alarm goes off, even if it's just to hit snooze a few times, is a small win in that direction.
You got it. Each action is like casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. It's about the long game.
Okay, so we're casting votes for our future selves. I love that. But how do we actually build those habits? Clear has this really cool framework. Cue, craving, response, reward.
It's like a recipe for behavior change. Each step builds on the one before it.
So the cue triggers the behavior, and then the craving kicks in, providing the motivation.
Right, and that leads to the response, which is the actual habit itself.
And of course, we need that reward at the end to reinforce the habit and make us want to do it again.
It's a beautiful cycle. And it all starts with that initial cue. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how grocery stores strategically place candy bars at the checkout aisle?
Oh, totally. I'm like, oh, hey there, Snickers, didn't see you there.
They're totally playing on that cue craving connection. That's why Clear's first law of behavior change is so important. Make it obvious.
Out of sight, out of mind, right? So if I want to read more, maybe I should keep a book on my bedside table instead of hidden away on a shelf.
Exactly. You're making that positive habit more obvious, which makes it more likely you'll actually do it. Clear talks about setting up implementation intentions, which is like a fancy way of saying
Having a plan.
Exactly. Like, when I see my bedside table, I'll read for 15 minutes. No more relying on willpower alone.
It's about designing your environment for success. So we've made it obvious. Now, how do we make those good habits irresistible? We're not robots, after all.
You're preaching to the choir. That's where Clear's second law comes in. Make it attractive. It's all about tapping into the power of dopamine.
Ooh, dopamine, my favorite. Tell me more.
You mentioned you love listening to music while you work, right?
Oh, yeah, always.
What if you only allowed yourself to listen to your absolute favorite playlist while you're writing?
Okay, now that's a good idea. I see where you're going with this.
It's called temptation bundling. Pairing something you want to do with something you need to do.
It's like sneaking veggies into a smoothie.
Exactly. You get the goodness of the veggies without even realizing it. And speaking of good influences, you mentioned your friends are all into fitness, right?
Oh, yeah, big time. We're always swapping workout tips.
See, that's not a coincidence. We are social creatures. We're naturally drawn to the habits of those around us.
It's like their good habits rub off on you.
Exactly. So surrounding yourself with people who are already living the way you want to live can be incredibly powerful.
It's like a built-in support system for your goals.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay.
Okay, so we've made our good habits obvious and attractive. What's next?
Now we got to make those good habits easy peasy.
So, like Clear's third law,
Yeah.
make it easy.
Bingo! You know how you're always saying you want to cook more, but your kitchen's, well...
A disaster zone. It's true. I swear, my counters multiply clutter overnight.
Right. So think about it. What if every night you spend 5 minutes tidying up? Just a quick reset. Clear calls this priming the environment.
Okay, I can totally do that.
Yeah.
It's like setting myself up for a win before the day even starts.
See? No more excuses. Speaking of which, you ever find yourself glued to your phone when you should be working on that to-do list?
Ugh, don't even get me started. It's like My brain's hardwired for distraction.
He calls them decisive moments, those little choices that can make or break our day.
Okay, but how do you actually, like, hack those moments? I feel like I need a secret weapon.
Remember the 2-minute rule?
Oh, right.
Look.
Instead of trying to write for like an hour, I can just tell myself to write for 2 minutes and see what happens.
Exactly. Sometimes just starting is the hardest part.
Mind blown. I never thought about it that way before.
And the best part is, you can use it for breaking bad habits too. Want to snack less?
Definitely. But how?
Make it hard to reach for those chips. Stash them in the back of the pantry, out of sight, out of mind, you know?
So I got to put in some serious effort to get my hands on those cookies.
You got it.
Yeah.
Make it a little inconvenient, and you're less likely to give in. I mean, Clear even talks about Victor Hugo, the writer. He used to lock up all his clothes so he couldn't leave the house and had to write.
Wow. Okay, that's next level commitment right there. I don't know if I'm ready to lock up my clothes, but I get the point. What about, like, website blockers and stuff? Is that basically the digital version of locking up your clothes?
Now you're getting it. Or giving your phone to a friend for a few hours. Whatever works, right? Automation's another game changer.
Oh, right. Like setting up automatic transfers to my savings account so I don't even have to think about it.
Exactly. You're making it easy peasy to make good choices. All right, so we've made it obvious, attractive, and easy. What's the final ingredient for habit building success?
It's got to be rewarding, right? Like, if it doesn't feel good, why bother?
You know it. Clear's fourth law, make it satisfying. We're talking dopamine hits again.
Okay, I am so here for this. I'm picturing like a little confetti explosion in my brain every time I finish a chapter or, whatever the habit is I'm working on.
Love it. It's all about those positive associations. What feels rewarding to you? Maybe a fancy latte after a writing session?
Ooh, yes. Or like a long hot bath with a good book, obviously.
There you go. Link those good feelings to your habits, make your brain crave them. But Clear also talks about this interesting idea. Reframing inaction, he calls it.
Inaction, like intentionally not doing something.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be rewarding.
Think about it. Let's say you're trying to cut back on sugar, right? Instead of focusing on the deprivation, focus on how awesome you feel when you don't have that sugar crash. More energy, better sleep, all that good stuff.
So it's like you're finding the reward in the absence of the bad habit. Okay, I can see how that would be powerful. But how do we actually stay motivated? Like for the long haul, it's easy to get excited about a new habit for like a week, maybe 2. And then the initial enthusiasm fizzles out.
That's where tracking your progress comes in. Clear's a big fan of habit trackers. Visual reminders, man.
Oh, I've tried those.
Yeah.
There's something so satisfying about like checking off a box or seeing a streak on a calendar, but then I miss a day.
And it's easy to fall off the wagon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Suddenly that streak is ruined and I'm like, well, I guess I'm a failure now.
Listen, we've all been there. The key is not to let a little slip up derail your entire progress, right? Think big picture.
So it's more about the overall trend, not just the day-to-day.
Exactly. Clear talks about regular reviews too, like checking in with yourself at the end of each week, each month, and seeing what's working, what's not.
It's like a progress report.
Right.
But for your habits. I love that. Okay, so we've got our trackers, we're reviewing our progress. Anything else?
One last thing. This whole explore exploit thing, Clear talks about it a lot.
Oh, yeah. Kind of reminds me of like a video game or something.
Right. It's about finding that balance. You got to explore new habits, new approaches, but you also got to exploit the ones that are already working for you.
So it's not just about working hard, it's about working smart, figuring out where to focus your energy.
Nailed it. Sometimes the best thing you can do is step back, reassess, and make sure you're on the right track.
So much good stuff. I feel like my brain is bursting with ideas. I'm ready to take action. Atomic Habits is a game changer.
Totally agree. And hey, remember what we talked about at the beginning? Those small actions, those tiny changes, they add up over time. Don't underestimate the power of consistency.
Even when you don't feel like it, show up. Those small wins will get you where you want to go. If you want even more tips and strategies for building better habits, you know what to do. Grab a copy of Atomic Habits. And hey, while you're at it, why not share this episode with a friend who's also on a journey to level up their life? Until next time, keep crushing it.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of literature. If you enjoyed today's summary, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more insightful content. Click the bell icon so you never miss a bedtime story, and let us know in the comments which book you'd like to hear next. Your support helps us grow and brings more stories to your nightstand. Sweet dreams, and see you in the next episode.